Hello everyone, it is Wizaldo or Wesley, and today I'm going to be playing one of my favorite black decks of all time. It is Gecko Moria, the GOAT of Wano. Now, this deck is actually really special compared to a lot of other black decks because it bricks way less. Now, because of that, it's a little bit harder to play and it has a lot less KO than other black decks, but it can just spam bodies out so much. So I'm going to highlight a few of the things that make it interesting. This Absalom is going to be your main KO tool. You're going to be wanting to KO something every turn with this Absalom. This Brook is also one of your KO tools. So if you combine them, you can usually get rid of 2 things a turn, which isn't insane, but if you can get it on early, you can usually take control of the board really well and just get going from there. Alright, hopping through the deck list, you run 3 Tsuru as a 2k that can also reduce power. 2 Monsheri. Monsheri actually serves to be a bit of a searcher in this deck because it searches for a 3 to 5 cost in your trash, and Gecko just fills up his trash super quickly. It is really easy to get rid of though, so I run 2. Typically, you'll grab Rebecca's with it, but in this deck you can do a little bit more. You run 4 of the Sindri 2Ks that fills up your trash with 5 cards from the top of your deck. 3 Brook, a way to reduce and KO things. 4 Hina, a huge reducer and a decent body on board. 2 Laboon, a 4 cost huge reducer on board. 4 Kuzan, great tempo, hand neutral, huge reduction. 4 Rebecca, great way to recur things out of trash. 4 Absalom, like I said, your main tool for KOing things. 3 Hogback, for grabbing some stuff out of the trash and putting it into your hand. 4 Perona. Full honesty, Perona is not an amazing card in this deck. I do have a playset of alt arts for it. They're not all the same alt art. I do think it's a good 2K. It's just mainly in here because if you need to, you can play it off your leader if it's in your trash. Or you can give something -3 cost. I think there are other 2Ks that you might want to put in, but Perona is one of my favorite in the deck just because it's so versatile, but if you play a certain way, you might want to swap this out for like a T-Bone or something. 4 Gecko Moria that plays a 4 cost out of your trash. Great card, it's from PRB, makes the deck amazing. 3 Sengoku blockers, good for grabbing your Kuzans or Hina out of the trash. 2 10 cost Kuzan, huge board reduction in cost and KOs something, although it's not really going to be your main means of KOing things. And 4 Tempest Kick. It is so easy to get Tempest Kick online, so say like turn 3 or 4, usually turn 4, this will be online and you can use it to KO a 5 cost with your Absalom. And usually you'll have a Kuzan out on board by then. So you can realistically KO a 4, 7, 9 cost character on your 3rd or 4th turn. The deck does want to go second just so you can get more cards in hand, and I think that's really the gist of it. I will highlight the whole point of the deck is to grab the 4 cost characters out of your trash. Using the Gecko Moria, it can play all of these 4 cost characters. It is not restricted to Thriller Bark Pirate type characters. It is any character as long as it's 4 or less, which means it can play a ton of really good cards. And then the Sengoku does the same thing, but just for Navy. So with the Sengoku and with the Moira, you usually want to grab something that'll reduce something. So say with Moria, you grab a Rebecca that then plays a Hina. You just played 3 characters on the board. Granted, the Hina or the Rebecca comes out rested, I believe, and so does the Hina, but you got 3 characters, and if they don't attack into the Rebecca, you'll have a blocker next turn. And that is a total reduction of 4, and then it attaches one to your leader, so then you can spend 2 more Dawn when you attack and KO something with the Absalom. So just really interesting combo deck, really fun in my opinion. Maybe not super competitive, but I think there is probably a meta out there where this will be a best deck in the meta, as long as certain things align. I'm not saying I'm predicting it, but things could align and this could be a really good deck. Anyways, I'm going to hop into a game and show it off. Alright, we are playing into a green-yellow Law. Not quite sure how this matchup is going to go. I'm going first though, which is a little bit rough. I do have a turn 1 Sindri though, so I am going to keep this just so I can fill up my trash really early. I do think I probably just Perona next turn, get my opponent to trash something as a way of kind of building a lead. I think once you get your opponent behind a bit, the deck feels pretty good. So I just go 6 lead. I'm going to trash the Hina just because it's going to be something I can put in the trash in the future. And have or take out of the trash in the future. I'm gonna have the opponent trash a card, get ahead a little bit. I do think I personally don't use the Piranha for the -3 cost enough. I kind of neglect the fact that it is a pretty good body that is also pretty good at reducing cost. I'm gonna try and put the heat on early. Maybe if I can get another Piranha out of trash, I can use that to my advantage. But next turn, I think I just Kuzan and swing 6 at life. I think Law struggles into aggro, so I want to adjust my playstyle to be aggro, especially because I'm at 5 life. I just take the swing I get from leader here, go down to 4, and try and hit my opponent down to like 2 life, maybe. Although they probably use leader effect here, yeah. Although they might not be able to get up there. They need to play a 2 cost, so they might be able to. It's an interesting play. 2 5s. Okay, I definitely take the first one. And I probably counter with the hog back out of the second one. I just don't want to fall down early. Because putting aggro on the opponent means they can also put aggro on me, which is a little rough. So I play the Kuzan. Get some more card draw. And we've seen Absalom, which is great. 5 at life, and then 6 at life. Even if the opponent just trashes all their cards, they lose a ton of cards in hand when I do this. And I think personally, I undervalue swinging early and getting a low hand size early on my opponent, but I also think because of that, it messes around with me a bit mentally. Interesting. Playing this without something to target with it is pretty rough, but who knows? Maybe the opponent's just trying to flood the board a little more than I can, which I don't think is a great idea just because I can do it really, really fast. I do counter out here, I believe. Do it with a Sindri. My trash feels pretty full. Alright, so I want to reduce stuff this turn. I can have 3... Oh, I can reduce with Kuzan. I just KO the Cavendish, probably. I only need 3 to do that, so that leaves me with 4 open. So I'll swing 6 life first. And then I'll go 7 with Kuzan, reduce the Cavendish, 7 with Moria, and play the Absalom. And this kind of pressure early is just going to really screw over my opponent, because they're going to lose one of their biggest value generators and lose life. So, pitch the Kuzan, or pitch the Absalom, play the Absalom. Bottom deck, a Tempest Kick and a Suru, just because I can't recur them in any way, not even with Moncherry. And then I KO the Cavendish. And realistically, my opponent either ditches or goes down to 0. Yeah, they had it down open, so that makes sense. But yeah, they're at 4 in hand. I'm in a position where I could possibly even end turn next turn. But it is a yellow deck at the same time, so probably returns that to hand, reveals a Cavendish and plays it. I do need to protect this Kuzan, but I don't have a lot of counter in hand. So I could handle a 6, but not a 6 and a 7. So hopefully I get a swing at my life first. Hopefully they might try and bait me. Yeah, I'll take that. And then if he swings at my Kuzan 2, okay, I think I just take this one too. Alright, so definitely want to get rid of the Cavendish and the Law. I think I just swing 8 at Law, reduce the Cavendish, and then I play the Brook to reduce and KO the Cavendish. Maybe I just swing a ton at life too. I have a ton of bricks in hand though, so it might be nice to play a hog back. Yeah, I'll go 5, 5, and then put the Absalom into trash. You actually really want to keep your Absaloms in the trash early. Or swing with them, then put them in trash, because it lets you do the on play again. So here I'm going to go 6 at life and trash the Moria to play a hogback to replace the Absalom. So the Absalom's back in trash. And use this, return the Kuzan and the, let's see, I'll return a Sengoku. I don't think that one is one I can return either. And then I'll grab a Sindri just for the 2k so I can protect my board. And my opponent probably has to take here, yeah. And next turn I'm in a really good spot to just end game. This deck is really oppressive when your opponent's not flooding the board super quickly. And I'm playing against a Law who can do that at a decent pace. I don't know if they can quite do it at GP Luffy pace. Now this is something that I don't know how I'm going to deal with. I probably just reduce it and then KO, but I think I need to protect my Kuzan in order to do that. Interesting. Yeah, I just 2k out of this. I'm not sure why they returned the heal to their life there, especially because it just lets me do this. I'll deploy this over the Sindri, reduce it down by 4. So swing into that, it's a 0, and just KO it. And then I swing a ton at life. I'll start with a smaller swing. Or, you know what I mean. That was a good game. I think it really shows the strength of the deck there. Incredibly fast deck. Really good if your opponent cannot clear your board. You have to be really mindful of how you play it though, because if your opponent clears your board, you don't have any control of the board anymore. Because you saw I swung into the Law, the 5-cost Law that restands a Heart Pirate or Supernova, in order to clear it, while also setting up a clear for the, I believe it was a Cavendish. So that's one thing you have to keep in mind, is there's many ways to control the board, and if you want to maximize the amount of characters you can clear, you have to play smart. Anyways, I'm going to go do the deck reflection. Okay, looking at the deck, just doing some final reviews. I think it feels really good, especially into some of the more slower decks. Into aggro, I would consider running the Rob Lucci. I'll just pull that up real quick. This Rob Lucci that KOs a 2 and 1 cost, especially if you get more of the removal or the reduction out on the board. I would cut maybe a Hogback and a Moria just to include 2. It does cut down on your 1Ks by 1 if you do that, but the amount of KOing it has is much more substantial just because you can remove 2 from the board. I think this deck list looks a lot better than the one at the start, so I am going to keep this as the deck list. I'll test it out more in the future. It is the one I'm going to include down in the description. If you did like this video, please leave a like. If you want to support me, give me feedback, leave a comment down below. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I've seen some amazing growth in the past month. I'm nearly at 200 subscribers as of recording, and I'm sure I'll hit it before this video even goes up. I do want to call out again, if I do get monetized before the Nationals that I'll be going to in February of 2026, I will do a vlog and a giveaway possibly, which also means I'll be doing a face reveal if that interests you. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.